Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Jacob. This is Ignite Fire Podcast. I want to thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification button so you know when the next video drops. And I appreciate your guys' comments down below. And don't forget to put a thumbs up if you like this video. Today we're going to be doing a review of Tom MacDonald's Withdrawals. So I wanted to do this review on Tom MacDonald's Withdrawals. Now, I've never heard this song before. I've been going through some of Tom's stuff and I am excited to hear what he has to say. Now, I have my own experiences with drugs and alcohol. I was addicted to crack cocaine, methamphetamines, and alcohol. And eventually, for years, I was doing this as a functioning addict alcoholic until I was no longer functioning. We'll just say that. And I'm actually working on doing a series on putting together the process that I've gone through on recovery that can help anyone with any addiction. If you're interested in that, just leave a comment. Let me know that that is something that can help you or that you're interested in, because I do want to help as many people as possible. And that does encourage me and helps me because it takes a lot of work to put something like that together. It's going to be a series on addiction and how to recover from any addiction. No, we're talking about fully recovered, a miracle from God. And I can show you step by step how to get it. So let's get into this video review of Tom MacDonald's Withdrawals.
The doctor said to talk to him if I wanted to get off my meds, but I never called his office and poured the bottle in the garbage can. I'm stuck in this apartment and...
Now, I don't recommend just throwing your medication away without discussing it with a doctor. I do understand why that happens. I know that, I wasn't a big advocate for methadone and stuff like that when people were coming off of opiates and different things like that. You know, it's a horrible withdrawal. Don't get me wrong. I've seen it. It's a horrible withdrawal, and it is very dangerous to withdraw off of alcohol. Believe it or not, out of all the substances, heroin, everything, the most dangerous is alcohol. And I do recommend if you are withdrawing from alcohol, do get medical attention, because it can be dangerous because of how much liquids you're losing and the throwing up, all of that, sweats. It can be a little rough. So I do recommend that. And whenever you're dealing with medications, do talk to a doctor and be safe about it.
I'm anxious like the cops are here. I tried to call like all my friends. None of them are answering. Is this the moment where I can't control it? Got no appetite, I guess the party's over. I can't sleep at night and I keep rolling over, cause my skin is itchy and the paranoia got me worried, sick, and it is so annoying. I've been throwing up, it looked like motor oil, but I chose to quit and now I can't avoid it. The right things to do are the hardest choices. So,
man, I've been sober now for coming up on 5-6 years now, and I had relapsed after a few years of initially getting into recovery and going to Calvary Addiction Recovery. And I tell you what, the first 30 days was the most absolutely trying time for me. It was difficult, my first 30 days. And then we realized through some of the addiction classes that it sometimes takes 2 years for your body and your brain to fully reset. You know, there's the pleasure sensor of the brain that is affected so much by drugs and alcohol. And when you get off of it, it's like the things that you would normally enjoy, that people normally enjoy, are not even on the radar emotionally, and we're numb and dull to everything around us, because it was the stimulant, the drugs, the alcohol, whatever we were doing, that was the only thing that could give us that utopian feeling. And so just hanging out with family and enjoying the simple things of life no longer stimulate us, and it does take sometimes 1 to 2 years for everything to reset. And it can be very difficult emotionally, especially through that time period. I remember I was going to a party and I was in my early stages of recovery, and someone handed me a beer, and I was literally shaking because I knew if I didn't get out of there, I was going to drink. And it was difficult. And I had to get away from all my friends and everything that I knew, and everything had to change. And it was a process. And there was a lot of emotional aspects to that.
It's the moment when I need a donor. Liver failing from the liquor pouring. While the room is spinning, it ain't vodka soda. What is almost killing me is being sober. Talk about pitfall.
Oh man. So he said what's killing me is being sober. And there's a truth to that in the book of Alcoholics Anonymous, which is my foundation of recovery. It says that to the alcoholic or the addict, that the substance or the use of it, we do it because we love the effect produced by it. And it becomes so elusive that even though it is injurious to us, the substance, the whatever, becomes injurious to us, we can no longer tell the difference between the true and the false. And the alcoholic life or the addict life is the only normal life. And we see other people living normal, drinking, whatever, and they're okay. And our emotions are constantly at war within ourselves, but we know that ease and comfort, which comes from a few drinks or to use. And that's this internal battle, and it is so difficult. It's almost easier to just go back to that which was normal, which is drinking and using, that it's harder to stay sober. And that's usually in the very beginning stages of recovery.
Surrounded by brick walls. This is what kids call withdrawals. Deleted every number from my phone. I'm staying home. Really wish that I was drunk with all my friends. I'm gonna beat it or I won't and overdose. Really wish that I was high with all my friends. Never cared for therapists. My arrogance embarrassing. It isn't fair to tear with this. Addiction placed my parents in. I'm scared repair will never fix the voluntary negligence, the wear and tear my errors did. They almost had to bury me. Is this the moment where I screw up and relapse? Waste all my money on rehab. Can't take a pill from the doctor to relax. Lash out in anger whenever I react. Feel like a weak man, I don't want to be that. Living every day to get a buzz on the weekend. I'm in the deep end, fighting with demons.
Oh. Hold on, guys. That's it's bringing me back. It's bringing me back to emotionally to where I was in the beginning of my recovery, and it really does seem like the whole world's falling apart, and I do believe that it was that God and my faith in Christ and His divine intervention that really delivered me. And I'll have to share with you guys the story. I had a miraculous encounter through this whole recovery process where I had an idea of God, and I grew up in the church, and I went to church on Sundays, and I did all the things, and I read my Bible, but I didn't know God, and I definitely didn't have access to the power that I needed to recover and heal me emotionally, and going through the listening to this and that whole season, I remember it was so difficult to look at the person that I saw in the mirror because of all the things that I've done and the mistakes that I've made and the promises that I broke and the way that I felt and the way that it tore me up. And it was almost like I couldn't look at myself in the face in the mirror anymore. I didn't like who I saw, and being sober, just feeling all of the feelings with nothing to numb me. It's not a good feeling.
Trying to stay clean, I just really need a reason. My bones are shaking in my hands and feet. I see my rib cage, but I can't eat. I still wake up panicking, so I can't sleep. I just sit in the bathtub and try to breathe. Talk about pitfalls, surrounded by brick walls. This is what kids call withdrawals. Deleted every number from my phone. I'm staying home. Really wish that I was drunk with all my friends. I'm gonna beat it or I won't and overdose. Really wish that I was high with all my friends. I've never felt this bad before. I don't know if I'll make it. Don't have the strength to get off the floor right now, but I'm hoping and praying. My hope.
There was moments where I remember my car had got repoed. I had a DUI. I had a nice house. My mortgage was $560, guys, $560, and I couldn't pay my mortgage. And I remember I was sitting on the floor, feeling like the whole world was caving in, and I call my sponsor, and he's, and I didn't know if I could make it. And he's like, "Are you okay right now? Like, are you in any danger?" And I'm like, "No, I'm laying on the floor in my closet." And he's like, "Are you okay right now?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay right now." So he's like, "It's okay right now." And I was like, "Yeah." And he taught me how to live sometimes moment by moment, second by second. And is it okay right now? Is it okay right here, right now? Am I in physical danger right here, right now? No. He goes, "Okay, it's okay right now." Yeah. And I kept thinking about the future, kept thinking about things that happened in the past, but I could never just be in the present. And that was one of the things he taught me, that God is here right now in the presence.
Whole life I wanted more.
Oh.
This might be the end, but now I've had too much fun. It's over now. I loved what I hated. Delete.
Man, what he just said right now, I've had too much fun and it's over now. You know, there was a guy in recovery that hit me with one of his statements, and he said, you know, I paid for the party, and he goes, I gave up my life for the party, and I was putting all this on credit, and it's time to pay. There comes a time where you have to pay. And man,
Every number from my phone, I'm staying home. Really wish that I was drunk with all my friends. I'm gonna beat it or I won't and overdose. Really wish that I was high with all my friends. Deleted every number from my phone, I'm staying home. Really wish that I was drunk with all my friends. I'm gonna beat it or I won't and overdose. Really wish that I was high with all my friends.
man, that kind of hit me harder than I was anticipating. But yeah, man, that thank you, Tom, for making this song, Withdrawals. Brought up a lot of emotions personally, and I wanted to let everyone know that there is hope for you. If you're struggling with drugs and alcohol, I'm going to put a link in the description down below to get a hold of Calvary Addiction Recovery. I do encourage you to get help. And I just want to share with you a little bit of my expertise and my background. This is a faith-based organization, Ignite Fire. We believe in Jesus. We are not a church. We are an organization that does live Christian concert events and outreaches across Arizona. And my background is I'm an ex-addict alcoholic. I have fully recovered. That's something that you will not hear in a lot of recovery rooms. I did go to Calvary Addiction Recovery Center for my recovery, and I do recommend that facility. So if you're struggling with drugs and alcohol, substance abuse, I do recommend Calvary Addiction Recovery. There's also Crossroads and other places that you can get help here in Arizona. That's where we're based out of. But I do say, please get help. I ended up becoming a behavioral health technician and going back to the facility and getting hired by the facility so that I could help other addicts and alcoholics. So if you're watching this, I encourage you, and you're struggling, get help, reach out, and don't do it alone. So until next time, guys, like, subscribe, hit the notification button, share this video, and I'm working on putting together something for addicts and alcoholics of all kinds. And if you're interested in that, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this song. And if you're in recovery, let me know how long you have today in your recovery. I just want to encourage you to keep going, to continue to grow in your relationship with God, because He is the power that steps in between you and the addiction. So thank you guys for watching. God loves you. I love you. Until next time, God bless.